Christmas! Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Supreme TV. Live and exclusive on Supreme TV and Supreme TV YouTube and Supreme TV Facebook.
It's all about the premium Afghans versus the premium Americans in a shortened 15 over a side game. The Americans up in second and the Afghans currently down in sixth in the table. Live from the Musa Cricket Stadium here in Pearland. Well, this is how things currently stand. Premium Indians sitting very pretty up at the top. 8 points, 5 played, 1 3 and 2 affected by the rain. Americans, they're up there, but again affected by the rain, has lots of them. Well, the Canadians, who are yet to play a match, well, they've got 3 points. They're actually above the Afghans and about to take to the field again today. Well, that's how it stands, but it could all change after today's game, and let's find out what's going to be happening with the toss with Roshni.
It's Boxing Day here at the Musa Stadium, and it's the premium Americans taking the premium Afghans. Join with me, I have the premium Afghans captain, Mehran Khan, as well as the premium Americans captain, Imran Khan, and our match referee, Danny Khan. Imran, you've got the coin? Imran, you guys have won the toss. What do you decide to do?
We like to bat first. I think we'll have a bat first this game. Just looking at the conditions as well. I mean, the pitch looks good, so we'll just give it our best.
Yeah, we're playing on a different surface as well, so what are your thoughts?
It looks good. It looks similar to the last surface, so I mean, let's stick to our game plan and hope it goes well.
Lastly, any changes?
I think Cottrell missed out. I think he's not feeling all that well, but I don't think it's any more change.
All the best.
Thank you.
What would you have done if you had won the toss?
So we wanted to bowl, so that's good. He gave a bonus. So it's very good. There is a lot of moisture in the wicket in a year, and I think it's a fresh wicket, so it will help us a bowler.
You guys are coming in from a big game. You guys have had some rest days, so how's the camp looking?
We have 3 changes. So Isanullah is sick, so I'm coming. So there is 2 more. So Sumit Patel, I don't know, maybe he's also sick. He didn't come. So we have a good replacement. So we are looking forward for a good total. So we have good all-rounders.
All the best. Well, the news from the middle is the premium Americans have won the toss and they have chosen to bat.
Well, American openers there heading out to the middle. Decided to have a bat first. The Afghans saying they wanted to have a ball. Always question whether that's actually the case or they're just sort of playing with the other team a little bit. But as you can see, those batters heading out to the middle. Well, this is how the Americans line up today. We've seen the batting prowess of Kieran Otley so far in this tournament. We're hoping he can get fire again if you're an American fan. And Imran Khan, the captain there, well, 2 fifers in the tournament. For him, it's not been bad at all. Well, the Afghans in the field first, having been asked to have a bowl. Well, they're looking to try and clock another one. They did get their first of the day in that absolute nail-biter of a finish against the Windies just a few days ago, before all the Christmas celebrations. Well, now it's about what's going on today. And I'm happy to say I've got a new partner in crime this afternoon. Jay, welcome to the commentary box.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here. And I think we're going to have a really exciting encounter on our hands here. The Americans taking on the Afghans. And the Americans, we talk about their side, a couple of changes that they've also got. Ehsan Beg and Gurbaksh Singh both coming into the side. Beg on debut here in this edition of the APL. Gurbaksh Singh, though, we've seen a bit of him. A couple of games he played, but he'd really want to get going here. Hasn't been in the best of form.
Well, Yusuf Zazai is going to open up with the ball. Let's wait for umpire Brian to move his arm out the way. And we're up and running. Well, difficult as well for these two teams. You know, a few days off. The Afghans looked like they just found something against that windy side, although Hayden Watts Jr. very nearly got them over the mark. There was one run in it in the end. Well, he headed off into the field to the side of the pitch somewhere. I think he was eventually located and returned to his family. That's just beaten the edge. Well, USA winning the toss and choosing to have a bat. We saw them get off to a really explosive start just a few games ago. We saw Otley up at the top of the innings, and we know what firepower he can bring. And with this 15-over game, remember, they have only got 5 overs of power play, so they're going to want to try and kick on hard and fast early. There's been a lot of waiting around, watching around, wondering what might be happening with the weather. And attacking field here. They've got to slip in early, the Afghans. Good diving effort. Wide down the leg side though, but well stopped behind the stumps.
Yeah, now while the Americans, as you said, they'd want to attack here early, with this being just a 5-over power play, 15-over game, but also being aware that with the amount of rain we've had and how the ground has been soaked for the past couple of days, unfortunate that we couldn't have play. That would alter some of the conditions as well here out in Musa. As Yusuf runs in, this one's just cut away out towards a deep third. And with that, the first runs off the bat. Navanpreet Singh gets off the mark.
Well, that player on your screen there, just 14 years of age and playing in this second edition of the APL. When it started 2 years ago, he would have been just 12. So exciting to see youngsters coming through alongside some of the bigger names in the game and people we know can hit a long ball, like this man on your screen, John Otley. Well, he's gone up with a hand. He thinks he might have something in there, Yusuf Zazai. Umpire Brian unmoved. Otley's just having a little word with himself.
Yeah, down the leg side, that the umpire not calling it a wide either, so perhaps hit the pad on the way through.
A full ball dug out by Otley, and he's off the mark now. Well, we have seen one 15-over game so far in this tournament. The Afghans didn't manage to make it through their allocated overs. Were all bowled out in just over 14. And the Americans won't be wanting the same. They want to kick on a bit here. Nearly an over gone. Only 3 runs on the board. Got to try and find this boundary. It will be slow, the outfield. Very damp. We've had a lot of rain and some incredible work has gone in to make this playable again. And that's a really tidy first over from Yusuf Zazai. So end of the first over, the USA 3 without loss. So Jay, you've been watching on from external to the ground the last week or so. What have you made of the tournament up to now?
Well, I think there's absolutely some very talented players on show, and as you said in the last over as well, some younger players, as we talk about that 14-year-old playing for this Afghan side. So I think it's really going to provide an excellent opportunity for those youngsters as well to be able to play with some of the bigger names, some of the more established players, a lot of whom have played around the world, have played in different conditions, and to be able to be with them, learn from them, I feel is really going to be an influential part in their own cricketing career.
We're going to continue with pace from this end as well. We've seen a lot of use of spin in the tournament so far, and sort of been the shining light of the tournament. Spin been taking lots of the wickets, but the Afghans opting to start with pace from both ends at the beginning of this shortened 15 over-a-side game. You can see Otley is just not timing it at the moment. He's trying to get it away, rehearsing the shot again.
And we know Otley's got the power. If he can just get the connection, he can really get the Americans off to a good start here. Now Mehran Khan, a couple of good deliveries. He's bowled coming into the side. Didn't play that last game against the Windies.
Just beating the edge. This is a really tidy start from Mehran Khan. We saw him at the toss captaining the side. A trio of Khans out in the middle alongside Roshni. Struggling to pierce that infield.
Yeah, finally getting bad on that one, Otley, but not able to hit it past the fielder. Now, with the rain that we've seen in Houston and in Pearland here at Musa over the past couple of days, the wet outfield, and I'll come back to that after this ball. As he just taps that away into the offside. Racing across for that single. What do you think are really going to be some of the changes we see here in conditions out at Musa?
Well, as we've seen all tournament, actually, it's been pretty slow in the outfield, and today even more so. You see you've got bits of sand that have had to go out, and it is going to slow down out there. So when the ball goes high, it plugs if it hits the ground. So if you're going to go big, you've got to go really big, or it's got to be hit with quite some gusto across the ground, or it's not going to reach the boundary mark. That's a lovely, lovely delivery. This is a great start here from Mehran Khan. Well, at the end of 2 overs, just the one coming off that one, the USA 4 without loss. Yeah, they were part of that absolute nail-biter of a finish, the Afghans. They thought they were almost home and happy, but Hayden Walsh Jr. had other ideas, and he so nearly saw his team home. Just holding out in the end, needing 2 more runs to take it to victory.
Yeah, he hit a couple of big sixes right before that moment.
That's good length. And he's going to have to be quick. Chance of a run out, but they've been really good. We've seen a lot of direct hits in this tournament, and actually it is going upstairs. It was a very quiet, muted celebration. The umpire just signalling there. The bowler stuck his arm in the air, sort of just in passing. They weren't really expecting it to be an opportunity at that point. It was very nonchalant from the batter getting back into his crease. And so we'll be sent to the TV umpire and have a look at whether he's run out of luck already. Otley there, you see, just shadow playing.
Yeah, and amazing stuff from the fielder as well.
Well, he's gone. He's miles out. Well, what an absolute bonus wicket this is going to be for the Afghans early on, getting one of the openers.
And that even Navanpreet Singh, who can be very destructive there out in the middle, having him run out early. A huge advantage there for the Afghans first up.
Yeah, and we talk about, you know, the key to, you know, to take wickets in the power play. Remember, the power play is only 5 overs today, and there's that red light. On your way, mate. Well, he goes for 1 from 5, and the Afghans pick up their first. Talk about picking up those early wickets and keeping that lid on run scoring. Well, they've kept the lid on the run scoring, and they've managed to magic a wicket out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, and I think there was also some pressure there on the two batters, Singh especially wanting to try and get that extra run, going for everything, and that's the pressure which was really built as a result of those dot balls which we saw earlier on in the first 2 overs, just 4 runs.
Well, it's going to bring Karan Chandal out to the middle to join the opener, Otley. And interesting, because we have seen Gard Erasmus further up the order before, but he's not going to come in at 3. We've seen him open, and we've seen him higher up the order, but not this afternoon. So maybe they're thinking that Chandal can just inject some impetus into this. He'll be watching from the non-strikers for now. Well, and Otley goes aerial, and there's chance of a catch, and it's just past the right hand of long on, and it goes for 4. That's the kind of power you need if you want it to hit the floor and still go over the boundary.
Yeah, fantastic shot that from Otley. We were seeing he wanted to go through the offside, finally gets bat on this one, and there's his power on display. Nobody stopping that there.
He's been looking for that. Yeah, it's taken a couple of overs. And that's just what they needed following a surprise wicket as such.
Looking to just guide this one down. Ends up hitting it straight to the fielder, that.
We've got the right armour coming round the wicket to the left-hander. With the allocation of 3 overs each in a shortened 15-over match. So Zazai in his second here. And again, picks out the fielder. Chance of a run. The non-striker not watching. Chance of a run out again, and that could be the second. That is the second. Oh, this is a nightmare start for the Americans. The running is all over the place, and without even facing a delivery, Karan Chandal is on his way back to the hutch.
A horrific start indeed. 2 run-outs in the space of just 4 deliveries. And Karan Chandal, he'll be pissed with himself there. Doesn't face a single ball. 8 for 2 now, the Americans, just in the 3rd over. And not looking good for them. Again, that one, it's straight to the fielder, looking for that quick run once again. And a bit of yes-no, eventually leading to that run out.
Well, complete lack of communication between the two batters out in the middle. Yes, fresh to the crease together. Not had a chance to get into it, but 15 overs. Yes, you've got to be looking for those runs. You've got to be trying to rotate that strike, trying to just tot up the ones, put that pressure on, get something on the board. But instead, they find themselves 8 for 2 inside just 3 overs. And we talk about guard Erasmus coming in at the top of the order. Well, he pretty much is, because we're into the 3rd over here, and he's coming in at 4, and he already finds himself there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how Erasmus looks to play this innings, because there's still about 2.5 overs left here in the power play. But you have lost 2 wickets early, so Erasmus, does he look to counter-attack here? Put some pressure on the Afghans.
Short ball played nicely and just over the field, and there's that plug we talk of. But Erasmus is up and running, opens his account with 2 runs. This was that run out.
Non-striker not watching charge.
Not even in the frame, and you could just carry on running back to your seat.
Yeah, oddly there, he was at the other end by the time Karan Chandel started running. But Erasmus there, I think you can see his intent from that first ball. Looking to go aerial over the fielders.
That's Fuller this time, went for the short ball, the previous ball this time. Aiming further at Erasmus's feet. They'll do well to scamper through for the 1, and they're going to have to do that. They've got to communicate well, these two. Try and dot up those ones where they can, but not throw away the wicket. At the end of 3 overs, the USA, after those 2 run-outs in that over, find themselves 11 for 2. Well, you wonder what that conversation entails. Kieran Otley just watching wickets fall while he's running to one end. And you can only hear the death rattle as his partner gets sent on his way. So Erasmus, with the 1 off the end of that over, will still be facing up.
Imran Khan continuing. The captain himself, his first over, just the 1 run it went for.
Having a little word with Jamshid there, who was player of the match in the previous game. He picked up 3 for 17, alongside 3 also for Ishak. Well, that's found an edge somehow, and it's beaten everyone. And that's gone for 4. Well, you'll take runs however you can. Gerard Erasmus, not where he was aiming.
Yeah, second inside edge now. Erasmus that, but the first boundary for him in this game. So we'll have a look at that again. Yep, just misses the stumps. Keeper had no chance as well, and with no one back there, that races away to the boundary.
Shorter from Khan, nicely played off the back foot from Erasmus, who's now waving to the dugout for something. Is he having a look at his bat?
It appears he is. Perhaps wanting a change in bat there. I think after that inside edge.
Here comes the Batman. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, is he going to have a look at them all? Does he know exactly which one he wants? Yep, go straight for the first one. Well, Miran Khan just waits at the top of his mark while Erasmus and his new blade become acquainted.
That's defended well there into the offside. Erasmus now maybe a heavier bat for him if he really wants to look to maximize these last 9 deliveries of the power play. Try and get a few more boundaries in.
This is really tight, really good stuff from Miran Khan. First ball going for that. Unlucky he really was with the inside edge going for 4, but he's found a really good length here that Erasmus is just struggling to get away at the moment.
Yeah, bowling well here is Miran Khan. It'll be interesting to see, does he want to bowl himself for a third on the trot with how well he's bowling?
Well, that's up in the air and it's going to land safe. Straight in the direction of the fielder at mid-off. It's definitely not quite as windy or blustery as it was the other day. We have seen a bit of sunshine today after the last few days of weather. Christmas Eve, whatever day that was now, 2 days ago. Felt like we'd need to build an ark if we wanted to play any cricket. Well, he goes aerial. And it goes straight into the boundary hoardings.
Yeah, Erasmus, an excellent shot there to finish the over off. Started with a boundary, ends with a maximum. 10 runs now coming off that over. It's 21 for 2 are where the Americans stand after 4.
Yep, just going for the boundary trek here. Yeah, does well. Gives himself room, shuffles down, takes it on. And someone with better eyes than me was going to have to make this decision.
Appears it's been given a boundary. After all, bouncing just inside that boundary rope there. So 8 runs from that Khan over. As we have the first bowling change as well. Final over of the power play. And Jamshid has been introduced into the attack.
Yeah, I like this change. Yeah, struggling to make a breakthrough with the ball at the moment. Those 2 wickets falling just from run-outs. Jamshid, player of the match in the previous game. His 3 for 17 was crucial in taking those early middle-order Windies wickets. And so see if he can make the breakthrough here. That's a good start. So he's switching to spin for the first time in this game. I'm surprised to see he's not got a towel or anything down the back of his trousers or something to just keep that ball dry. Nicely played off the back foot by Otley.
Yeah, just out to the man in the deep there. Now Erasmus, we saw some signs of aggression from him in the previous over. Now, does he look to take on the spinner here? Will be the question. Just 2 men allowed back. He's got a deep square and a long on here in the power play. Does the spinner.
Well, that's been given the full beans along the ground, and it doesn't matter how wet it is out there. Lovely noise off the bat. And that's another 4 into Gerhard Erasmus's account.
Yeah, an excellent cover drive there. Piercing the field. As we'll have a look at that again. Just turning back into him. Hits it against the spin. But absolutely smashes it. Once again, outside the off stump, but just cut away to that fielder.
He goes aerial, and that has gone absolutely miles. Well, Gerhard Erasmus, he's come out and he is not hanging about here.
Hits this one a long, long way back there, does Erasmus. And finishing the over off with a maximum this time. As we have a look at that again, yeah, once again. Trying to keep it outside off, trying to keep it outside of Erasmus's arc. But he's taken that ball from well outside the off stump and deposited over long on. So 11 runs there from Jamshid's first over. A good end to the power play for the Americans, but it's safe to say, I'd say, that the first 5 overs of the game there, Afghans would be more happy at the stage. The couple of run-outs they got, and at the end of the power play, just 6 and over. USA is at 30 for 2.
Well, interesting to see that turning to spin didn't work for that over. He's gone from pace to spin. You can see just Sheldon Cottrell in the background there watching his team fully balaclavaed up almost. And the youngster, Venkat Kolahalam, the 14-year-old.
Yeah, continuing with spin here. Are the Afghans. With Otley on strike. Well, that's an excellent delivery to start off. They're beating Otley as that one turned in.
Well, interesting to see after that first over of spin, they did still stick with it, change from pace. So the captain choosing to keep an over up his sleeve, perhaps for later on. Remember, those wickets are only fallen so far because of run-outs. I mean, if you're an Afghan, you're going to take the run-outs, take the wickets, I should say, however they come. But it was very much more mistakes on the American side rather than skill and guile from the Afghan bowlers. Well, the half volley is dispatched. It's just fallen short of the boundary signalled for.
Yeah, Erasmus there continuing his charge even after the power play. Looking to take the 14-year-old on. As we'll have a look at that one again. Gives it some flight outside off. And once that was over the infield, no one stopping it. We'll see how the youngster comes back from this. Well, looks to change his line a bit too wide though, as we can see that slow outfield once again. The ball just stopping in the middle of the field. I do think on your point that this is an interesting decision to bowl spin, and you know, while there were the runouts which got the wickets, and I'll come back to that after this ball.
That's well dug out by Erasmus. Almost falling over backwards, but fuller delivery from the youngster. Again, full, nicely defended and good running. That's what we need. Put the pressure on the fielder. Well, Otley at the moment is just playing spectator. He's got the best seat in the house from the other end, but he's just watching Garrett Erasmus go about his business at the moment. The end of 6 overs, USA 38 for 2.
Keep going, guys. Come on, boys.
Well, bits of sun coming out just about. And this is the story of the day so far. There's 2 runouts. Navanpreet Singh, I mean, he was very nonchalant, but he found himself on the way back to the dugout. Well, Karen Chandler was almost not even in shot. And he went without even facing a ball. Well, Erasmus has decided the spin is on, so I want a hat, please, not a helmet. Well, after all the rain the last couple of days, cover's been on. This is what they're playing on at the moment. Talk us through this one, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. There's quite a few cracks on the pitch, and here, just have a look at that inside edge as we're back live, it seems. But absolutely, the ball has been turning quite a bit on this pitch. We saw from the spinners, and that's perhaps going into the decision to bring spin on here, as that one's squeezed out down the ground. But it's an interesting decision to continue with spin here, because pace, while they didn't get you wickets with those first 2 just being runouts, they were bowling well. They were restricting the runs, they were creating pressure. So I think the Afghans could have considered bowling a couple more overs off pace, just continue with those dot balls, make the batsmen hit a shot which they don't really want to do, try and create that pressure.
I think also what they might be aware of is they really had the lid on the Windies, and then they were turning to sort of their 5th and 6th bowlers in that game the other day, and that gave Hayden Walsh Jr. the chance to sort of go, right, these aren't their front line, I'm going to take them on, and it really worked. They never looked like they were taking that wicket, and in the end, Walsh almost just gave it away at the end. It felt like he was going to get them over the line, just chipped it up easy as you like. Well, Garrett Erasmus is not hanging about.
Yeah, picks up another maximum, that down the ground. And Erasmus looking an excellent touch at the moment there. Into the 30s, 35 from just 18 deliveries. Nearly a 200 strike rate as he gets that off the middle and hits it well over. The way Erasmus is playing against spin, I think Afghans might want to bring in at least maybe an over of pace.
It's just where they're going to find it from.
This time it's driven out towards the man in the deep. Just another single taken. And some smart batting there from Erasmus. He has that maximum in the over, now just looking to play it safe, play it along the ground, just keep the scoreboard ticking.
Well, Otley, who we've seen, oh, there's a poor misfield. Otley, we've seen been so aggressive at times in this tournament. Is just playing second fiddle at the moment. Well, that closes out the 7th over. The USA 48 for 2.
It's a welcome back, everyone. 7 overs done, 48 for 2 here. And we have a change in the commentary box. Kieran joining me. Nice to have you here.
Nice to meet you. Nice to have you on for the first time. And it's a pretty cold day, but another good day for cricket. Finally back on the field, and everyone is excited to be back. 2 days, I guess, Christmas break we got through the weather, but no, it's looking good here. Otley is partnering Erasmus, who's off to an absolute dream start here, and as we've seen in the tournament, anyone that can score this quickly and put their teams up towards 100, 120 run mark is invaluable in this tournament. So Erasmus is doing a great job here so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And this being a reduced overs game, just 15 overs aside, more so these sorts of quick fire innings will come so in handy.
Well, Erasmus is giving himself room there, trying to muscle it through the infield. Outfielders absorb some of the power of that shot, so the man at long off runs around and stops it, but scores now up to 50, so coming up to the halfway stage with 1 ball more in this over, I think Premium Americans are going to be quite happy with where they are in terms of 50 for 2. Nice platform to launch.
Yeah, nice platform indeed, especially doing some rebuilding after those 2 runouts in just the second, third over of the game. And we have a look at the 50, 37 of those from Erasmus himself. As Otley opens up there, hits it out towards the man in the deep. And just a single they'll get from that.
I think looking at the outfield, these batters are timing the ball quite well, but what's happening is it's so heavy that it's absorbing the power of the shot, so the batters are going to have to look to go aerial here if they want to get some boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a look at some missed fields as well here we've seen now from the Afghans. I think it's the 3rd missed field we've seen in the past few deliveries. But yeah, as you said, this is a slow outfield here. The ball really isn't traveling, so they're going to have to use their power here, are the batters, to look to get some runs. And we've seen Erasmus do that. Otley, though, can he join in? This one signaled a wide by the umpire.
Well, I think a strategy that the Premium Americans could employ here is have Erasmus, the set batsman, be extra attacking and let Otley bat through, given that he's already consumed so many balls, and then you have someone to rotate the strike at one end, and then obviously Erasmus going for the boundaries. Having said that, Otley's gone into a sweep shot here. That's only gotten them 1, so I think, you know, Otley's himself thinking they've got to get a move on, and someone's got to take up the mantle. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these 2 batters chooses to really start to expand and look to get some boundaries for the Premium Americans.
Yeah, and oddly interesting shot that he took a ball which was well outside the off stump and looked to sweep it out to mid-wicket. So interesting shot selection from him there. But Otley as well, I think he should start to just accelerate a bit. 13 off 21 here in a 15 over game is really not ideal.
Yeah, they can't save too much in the tank here. You know, it would be better that they get 130 and get bowled out as opposed to getting 115 and having 4 or 5 wickets in the tank and saying, oh, we could have potentially had another 20 runs. So as you said, I think both batters at this stage may have to start looking at expanding. Having said that, it's time for a bit of a refreshment, a quick water break.
Yeah, 8 overs done, 54 for 2.
It'll be interesting to know what the conversation is on both sides of the game here, I'd like to think, because Premium Afghans will be happy if Premium Americans keep going along at 6.75, which is not going to do them too much damage and give them a total to chase that's workable. But we're going to have a quick break here for drinks and we'll rejoin you shortly. And we're back here for the second half of the first innings by the Premium Americans after a quick refreshment break and strategical break as well for Premium Americans and Premium Afghans. I'd say the game is sort of balanced at the moment. What do you think?
Yeah, the Americans did want a few more runs at this stage, but they do have those 8 wickets in hand. They have the batting to come here. So they can really look to accelerate as we have a bowling change. Vakarullah Ishak brought into the attack here. So some more spin we're going to get to see. And this Afghan side, they've got quite the spinners here. We've just seen 2 pacers till now.
Well, spin has been doing majority of the damage throughout this tournament in terms of restricting batters from scoring as well as taking the wickets. Having said that, interesting start by Wakarula with that delivery down the leg side.
Yeah, staying a bit low there as well. And don't think Otley was expecting that at all.
Well, this is a good time for the Premium Afghans because after a break and with only a further 7 overs left, the Premium Americans will have to attack. So having to start back from a water break, losing that momentum, it may be an opportunity for them to sneak a few wickets.
On an inside edge there, as they'll just keep it to a dot ball. And we've seen many times after a drinks break that a wicket does fall. It's that break in concentration, that break in momentum as you were talking about. And Erasmus here, he's been looking good. As that's just going to be hit out towards extra covers. Picking up another single.
So we have seen that Erasmus has lost his fluency as well in his innings. Obviously he started out like a house on fire, but now he's sort of going along at a run of ball, and so Otley's going to have to look to hit some boundaries here. Having said that, I think he's just about heard me hit this one away through that deep mid-wicket gap. The man at long on wasn't able to get around to cut it off before it just about trickled into the boundary with the sand and the heavy outfield taking the pace off of it. And so the Premium Americans have gotten a much needed boundary. So too has Kian Otley, who now moves on to 17.
Absolutely, and I think that's perhaps something they talked about there in the drinks break. For Otley to start to get moving here. This one, though, defends it right back to the bowler.
And that's not something you see often in a T20 match, is it?
Yep, absolutely. A classical defense to say. And this time goes aerial for a while. Just past the fielder, though. As they come across for a single. Eight runs from this over till now. That one boundary we saw, but besides that, not too bad of an over here. Erasmus now looking to go big. And once again going aerial, but finds the man there, long on the bounce to him. But with that single, Erasmus will retain strike. And the end of the over as well.
I thought that one actually set up nicely for Erasmus. I think he might be quite disappointed not to have gotten more out of that shot than a single down to long on, but having said that, he's still at the crease, so he'd be able to make up for that. With only 6 overs left, and the current rate at 7s, Premium Americans with 2 wickets down are going to try and start to apply a lot more pressure to the Premium Afghans bowling attack here and try and get themselves up to that 115, 120 mark.
Yeah, and having a look at the bowling here from the Premium Afghans, we'll come back to that as this over begins, but they've just got 2 overs of pace left here. As that one's just been flicked away off the pads, and they want the second there. Getting it quite comfortably in the end as well. Into the 40s now, Erasmus.
And I think Erasmus will be definitely thinking about getting this half century and then pushing on from here. Premium Americans will be looking at 10s for the rest of the innings as well, if they can go to a minimum of 10 and over.
Yeah, and from the Americans' perspective, Erasmus could really make the difference for them between a score of, say, 110-ish, 100, 110, and more so that 130 type score.
And I think we've seen Erasmus display a bit of smarts there because the fielders are still hanging all the way back on the boundary, but because the outfield is that heavy, he's just dropping it into the leg side and taking 2 every time. And the fielders need to be aware of that and come off the boundary a bit more and force Erasmus to then make a change and go aerial and potentially provide them with an opportunity of picking up a wicket. Mind you, if he clears it or just gets over their head and goes for 4, someone's going to look like an idiot, but I'm here to provide options as a commentator.
Yeah, and this time just taking the single, getting Otley back on strike. Looks to sweep that away and finds the boundary as well. A powerful shot through square leg. There was a man out in the deep there. Won't be able to get to it at all. And Otley here, he continues his charge post that drinks break. Picks up his second boundary.
And he has shown a propensity for that sweep shot in particular. Very well executed. Struggling for a bit of timing on this pitch, Otley. New pitch being used today. Obviously, players would have gotten used to playing on the previous pitch throughout the course of the tournament. And so it's another adjustment that not only the bowlers have to make, the batters have to make as well, but they've managed to get 10 runs from this over still. So bang on target in terms of, I guess, strategy and what they'd be looking for the rest of the innings.
Yeah, 10 run over, and at the 10 over mark, 73 for 2 here. The Americans 5 overs to go. Can they get to that 125 mark? With Erasmus out there, it's certainly possible. We have a look at that batting card. Namanpreet Singh, Karan Chandal, both run out there. Unfortunate for them. In the same over that even. Otley opening the batting. He's been out there, holding one end up. The main man at the moment, Gerard Erasmus. 45 not out from just 28 deliveries.
And that's definitely a game-changing innings. As you've seen throughout most of the tournament, everyone's managed to go at a run, a ball, or just under. And so Gerard Erasmus is having a huge impact on proceedings here today. And I'm sure he'll be looking to do more of the same when he comes out into the field with the ball as well.
And Otley just driving that one through off the back foot.
What has been good from Otley is that even though he hasn't managed to get the boundaries as he would like, he's rotating the strike well and getting Gerard Erasmus back on strike quickly, so Erasmus isn't losing momentum as well.
Yeah, and that's important as a batter out there, that you're not just at the non-striker's end for a long time. And this one down the leg side. Look to open up there, Erasmus, as the umpire will signal a wide. And coming back for a couple of runs on that as well. So the extras there continuing. We've seen quite a few wides now down the leg side from the spinners. Perhaps with this a bit of a wetter outfield, the ball as well a bit wet, just slipping out of the hands of the spinners, not able to grip it quite properly. This one though much better on the stumps.
And just like that, they've already collected 5 runs from the over from the first 2 balls. Extras obviously aiding in that process. So that takes a lot of pressure off the batters in terms of trying to look for a boundary.
Yeah, and we talk about that 10 run and over mark rate that they want to go at. When you have 3 runs just to start off, you now just need 7 off the last 6, which is just singles and twos. You don't need to take any risks. Though I think the Americans would want to there, as you can see that Erasmus trying to hit those powerful shots, has that high bat lift, looking to try and reach the boundary, just not getting the timing right.
And this is Jamshed's last over, being a 15 over encounter. Each ball is only allowed to bowl 3, so 2 balls left. The batters will be trying to maximize what they can from his spell, especially Erasmus being the right-hander and taking on the off-spinner, which would be his favorable matchup.
Yeah, and Jamshed has been a bit expensive today. 1 ball to go now in his spell. In his 3 overs, he's gone for 29, hasn't picked up a wicket. As that's just going to be driven through out towards the man in the deep. Just a single to finish the over off. Erasmus with that retaining strike on 48. Jamshed's overs are done, none for 30 and 3. And after 11, the Americans 82 for 2. 4 overs to go.
Well, the Americans will be looking to put the foot on the gas now. There's nothing to lose. And 10 and over seems to be quite an easy target that they're able to attain. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some extra power being applied to these shots from the American batters in the next 4 overs, trying to maximize and maybe push towards that 15-20 run per over mark, trying to push this game as far out of reach for the premium Afghans as possible.
Yeah, 50 runs off the back 4 here gets them to that 132 run mark, which I think in a 15 over game they'd be happy with on a slow outfield. That's a more than defendable total for the Americans. And with 8 wickets in hand, as you said, I think that's a good target for them. Get to that 130 mark.
And we have to keep in mind the fact that we've only seen 150 scored twice in this tournament, and 120, 130 probably another 2 times. So teams, especially the premium Americans who've been good throughout this tournament, know what will be sort of a safe score for them.
Looks to go aerial there, and he's going to clear it as well. Gerard Erasmus with that gets to his half century in style. 54 from just 32 deliveries, and what a show he's put on here, leading the Americans towards an excellent target here.
Well, Erasmus has been good this tournament, and I'm sure he'd have been a bit surprised that Venkat sort of tossed that one up a bit, give him a bit more time to have a look at it, and he definitely obliged and dispatched that one over the wide long off boundary for 6, bringing up what has been a really well played half century thus far with 4 4s, 3 6s at a strike rate of 168.
Yeah, absolutely. Just dealing in boundaries and 6s here mainly is Erasmus, but besides that, his running between the wickets has also been good. Limiting those dot balls. Just so important. Something unorthodox there. Looking for a bit of a reverse hit, reverse sweep.
But I think he's trying to play the field there as they've made an adjustment with the man at extra cover going to point, and now they've got a long off and a deep extra cover. So Erasmus was just trying to get past the sharp men inside the circle, but I think he may be better served just muscling the ball down the ground. It's got that much time.
When he goes for it again, and once again just finding that point fielder. So interesting tactics this from Erasmus when he's hit it out of the ground, as you've said on multiple occasions now, looking to just play the field when he can hit it well over them. Just leaving that one alone, looking for that wide there, Erasmus. The umpire won't give it.
And this has been an amazing comeback in this over from Venkat, going for 6 from the first over, and must have been thinking he's under extreme pressure here, but he's held his nerve thus far, and Erasmus hasn't been able to get a boundary. After having said that, he's made beautiful connection with this one, got it over the field this time instead of trying to go through the field. 1 bounce for 4, so 3 times the charm here for Erasmus in terms of getting that boundary off of the reverse sweep, and that's sort of that 10 run per over mark that they've been looking for, again achieved.
Yeah, commentator's curse at its finest, you could call that. Just saying how Erasmus hadn't hit a boundary after that maximum. Venkat had come back well, but Erasmus finally getting that reverse sweep right. This one, just a bit too much there, that one going down the leg side, as Erasmus just looks to hit it down towards deep mid-wicket. Opening up. And a single to finish the over off. With that, Erasmus retains strike once again. 11 coming from that over, and after 12, 93 for 2 are the Americans.
Well, we're going to see a change in bowling here, and a change in commentary as well. Changes all around. We've had a change in weather, a change in pitch, change in teams. Premium Canadians looking to have their first go in the tournament. 3 points from 3 games, 3 washed out. So there's been lots of changes happening here.
Well, I think the change that the Afghans are going to want is that they can change up this batting and get rid of Gerard Erasmus. 59 from 37, absolutely flying. And actually, oddly, he might look like he's being kept quiet alongside. He's just playing the supporting role. But 26 from 30 for him, doing exactly the role he needs to play. Get Erasmus on strike for these final 3 overs. We know how explosive he can be. We've seen what he can do already today, sending the ball into fields, over boundary ropes. And we'll see what he can get them up to. Already up to 93. Still 3 overs to come. It looks like we're going back to the captain, the pace man, just 9 of his first 2 overs. So good decision to try and stem the flow of runs.
Well, the skipper couldn't have asked for a better name in this situation, Imran Khan, and he'd be hoping that he can provide a breakthrough for his team here.
Lovely, full delivery. Absolutely nothing Erasmus could do with that other than keep it out.
Well, when you've got a batter set on 59 and you come in and just bowl the perfect Yorker, there's not much that anyone can do with a delivery like that, and so he'll be hoping that he can execute a few more of those and put some pressure on Erasmus and force him into doing something out of the norm and provide a wicket-taking opportunity for the Premium Afghans here.
Again, full, slightly too full. Manages to dig it out Erasmus and just get through for the one, but they don't mind them dealing in ones.
Well, that's been two very well executed Yorkers to start this spell here from the skipper, which is going to be only a 1 over spell because it's only 3 over allotment, so he'll be quite happy having only gone for 10 runs thus far from his 2.2 overs.
Well, still just over 2.5 overs still to come in this innings. 2 wickets down, just those run-outs early on. And these two have put on a formidable partnership after USA won the toss and chose to have a bat. Again, full and just about dugged out. Really impressive stuff, this from Imran Khan.
And this is even more impressive when you take into consideration the fact that he's bowling to 2 set batters who would be absolutely looking to tee off in this situation and not providing them with any width or the length to sort of get under or hit through the line of these deliveries.
Again, full and dug out. Just dealing in ones.
This has definitely been up there in terms of the most impressive 4 balls bowled consecutively in this tournament thus far in such a pressure situation, and he's kept his cool, executed each time, and he'll be looking to close out this over and try not to concede any boundaries.
Well, again, copy and paste of the delivery before. Full just about dug up and fielded off his own bowling. This is, I mean, I know he is the captain, but this is just what any captain would want from their fast bowler coming on just to bowl 1 over right near the death where it has been dangerous and these two have been teeing off. That's found the edge.
Well, that's been an absolutely amazing over by the skipper there, just conceding 4 runs in the 13th over. Kept the score down to 97, which will put a lot of thoughts into the minds of the Premium American batters of how they want to play these last 2 overs here, coming up with the score 97 for 2, and probably knowing that it's not worth them batting through the innings and going in on 110 for 2 when they can try and push and get up to that 120, 130 run mark, but probably put their risk of getting out up.
Yeah, we'll talk about putting the brakes on the scoring. That's just what you want at this stage. You know, 15 overs, it's an unusual length, yes, but like you say, they would want to push up to that sort of 120, and the way they were going, that looked very much like it was on, but just the 3 coming off that over has got these two thinking and trying to look deep. And we talk about that slow outfield, so you're going to have to go the aerial route.
Well, ringing the changes here. A man's just come from deep mid-wicket, or as it's known in cricket terms, cow corner, and ran all the way to point. As we see a leg spinner, Abdul come back to a left-hander Otley, trying to reverse sweep, not making any contact. Half stopped by the keeper, but managed to restrict any further damage. So continuation of dot balls from where skipper Khan left off.
And he goes back again. You see even just the sign that Otley is having to turn to try and do something else. He's trying to use the reverse sweep, make something different happen. They've already getting in the batters' heads at this point, making them think we really need to try and push up this run scoring, do something different. And then he just goes for the conventional sweep and doesn't get a hold of it, but another misfield from the Afghans. It's been chalk and cheese, really, this Afghan fielding. We saw those 2 fine run-outs early on, just sort of out of nowhere. And we've seen sort of leaking misfields here and there.
Well, Gerard Erasmus has been the man that's made a huge difference today. 61 out of 98. And so he'd be hoping for another 2 to 3 mighty blows that can have a massive impact on the final score. That's not going to be one of them, however, as that's just a single down to long on.
And you can see that even Erasmus has sort of lost his timing a little bit. He gives his bat a punch out in the middle. And that's just the pressure building up, and he's trying to make something happen with something that isn't there. He was in the boundary hitting habit, and it's just been slowed down.
Bowling right arm round to you.
Great use of the feet from Otley, but he's not got a hold of it. It's going to land safe. And they're actually just going to settle for the one. Don't want another run out. A hat-trick of run-outs that could have been. Well, the 100 is up for the USA team. Just 8 deliveries to come. Erasmus goes for the reverse sweep, and it comes off mightily fine. And that just breaks the shackles on the run scoring slowing as the umpire signals 4 and the music blares around the ground here at Musa Stadium. And he goes aerial again. And it's just going to evade the fielder. He does well to get round from long off. Long on, I should say. And it will just finish with the 2. So 9 coming off the over. 1 over still to come. 106 for 2, the score on the board after the Premium Americans won the toss and decided they wanted to have a bat here in a, I want to say, sunny Musa Stadium, and in comparison to what we have seen the last few days, this is blazing sunshine.
Well, what has been blazing has been Gerard Erasmus, 68 from 43, being kept company by Keon Otley. And I think these last 6 balls, we're going to see a lot of activity between these two batters, trying to see who can be the one to hit as many boundaries as possible and push them up to that 120 mark.
Well, 6 deliveries to come. What can they do with this? And it's Yusuf Zazai who's going to bowl out his 3rd to close out this 15 over shortened innings.
Yusuf Zazai has been good today, going at 5 runs and over, and he'd be hoping for much more of the same.
Well, he's not timed it, Otley, but he's found that gap. And it could, yep, it's just going to hit the boundary. It's slowed down massively. The fielder had sort of given up the chase early on. And the last over opens up with the 4.
And this is exactly the start that the Premium Americans and Otley would have wanted for the over. Boundary off the first ball. Yusuf Zazai going for a slower ball there, but the line of the delivery wasn't great, going down the leg side, and Otley just got enough bat on it to evade the man at short fine leg and run away into the boundary for 4.
That's a good recovery. It's dug out well, and they're going to push for 2. No, they'll settle for the 1. Well, it does bring Erasmus back onto strike, which is what you want to see with just 4 deliveries left in this innings. 111 the score on the board. Erasmus absolutely flying. 68 off just 43 for him. That bat change did wonders.
And Erasmus is 2 away from what would be the highest score for the season. Obviously Sean Finley in that opening match getting to a score of 69, so Erasmus will be eyeing up a few things personally and collectively for the team here.
Well, that's really well dug out and clipped away. And they're going to try and come back for two. They're going to have to be very quick. Otley's got to get his skates on, but the throw is wayward. And they're easily home. That's what you want to see. Pushing for those twos, take on the fielder, force that throw, and keep Erasmus on strike. Well, with that, he brings up the highest score of Season 2 of the American Premier League so far, with his 70 off just 40 deliveries. 3 still to come in this innings. What can the USA put on the board?
I think it's been a clear plan between Erasmus and Otley that Erasmus is the one hitting the ball better and he's going to be on strike. And he's dispatched this one over the man at deep mid-wicket. And it's a no ball as well, so it's going to be a free hit. So that's going to be 7 runs off this ball, which takes them up to 120, and a free hit coming up next. So Yusuf Zazai has completely lost his line and length this over, and he's being put to the sword here by the Premium Americans.
Yeah, he'd gone for just 10 in his first 2 overs, but this just came out of the hand, and Erasmus's eyes lit up. It was like a baseball shot in the end, and he now knows he's got a free hit. He's already on to 76. Free hit with 3 deliveries to come. Now, if I were anywhere over one of those fences, I would be taking cover.
Well, here's Zazai to Erasmus. He's gone length ball, pace off. Erasmus wasn't able to connect the way he would like. And so, just a single to the man out at deep mid-wicket. Brings Keon Otley back into strike with 2 balls left. And the Premium USA team crossing that hollowed mark of 120 will be trying to put the final touches on this and possibly look at maybe even getting up to 130.
Well, that's a good bit of work out in the deep. He's hit hard and along the ground, and there'll just be 2 here, so Otley will be on strike for the final legitimate delivery of this innings. He's played his part well. He's still got himself up to almost a run a ball 35. And 2 still to come with that free hit and that no ball. Shot. Well, that will be 4. So he moves into the 40s, 41 to his name. Already got a half century in this tournament, and it closes out the 15 overs and the end of the innings, and that's just the kind of way they would want to finish it, with a flourish. But really impressive from these 2 out in the middle. 2 wickets to fall, just those 2 run-outs. USA get themselves up to 127. 77 of those going to go at Erasmus, and Keon Otley 41 from just 40. An expensive final over, though, from Yusuf Zazai.
Well, exactly what the Premium Americans would have wanted. To get to 120 plus, we knew was always going to be a difficult task for them, but they've managed to somehow put together a partnership with Erasmus and Otley. Both there at the end. Erasmus 77 not out, Otley 41 not out, and now that gives them a great chance of going forward and defending this total and getting another 2 points, which in the context of this tournament, with all the weather and matches not being played, is going to be crucial for the rest of the tournament as teams progress towards the playoff stages.
Well, you look at that, just the 8 extras coming off the bowlers, 7 of those in that final over, but it was just explosive power hitting from the 2 Americans out in the middle, and there was nothing really the Afghan bowlers had that could combat it. And you see some expensive figures. Yusuf Zazai with 21 coming off his 3rd over, ends up with 31 from his three. And 30 off Jamshid Mir Alkil. He was player of the match in the previous game, picked up 3 for 17. Well, today was a very different story with the batters going along like they were. And the 2 wickets to fall, just those 2 early run-outs. Well, 127 is what the Americans put on the board. So when we come back after the break, 128 is the target for the premium Afghans in their 15 overs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
ධනංජය සිරිවර්ධන සමගින් ඉතින් කොහොමද සෙනසුරාදා රාත්‍රී 7ට සජීවීව වෙනස අත්විඳින්න නිරතුරුවම සුප්‍රීම් TV බලන්න.
ඔයාගේ වීකෙන්ඩ් එක ෆුල් හැපනින් කරගන්න කැමතිද? ආස කරන රීමේක් ෆිල්ම් BTS
හිදි VFX CGI වගේ තාක්ෂණයන් යොදාගෙන තිබීමත් ඊට අමතරව වාහන පුපුරව හැරීමට ඩයිනමයිට් බෝම්බත් භාවිතා කරලා තියෙනවා.
Movie trailers ඒ වගේම රසම රස කෑම හදන්නත් අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්න.
අදත් ඔයාලට කියලා දෙන්න හදන්නේ ඉක්මනින් හදාගන්න පුළුවන් උදේ කෑමක් ගැනයි.
හැම සෙනසුරාදාම උදේ 10ට
Road to Weekend.
ප්‍රේමණීය නත්තල් මාසේ ඔබේ වාදනයෙන් හැඩවෙන මිහිරිතම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් එකක් වීඩියෝ කරලා අපිට එවන්න. රටවටා ඉන්න වාදනයට දක්ෂ ඔයාලා එවන ලස්සනම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන්ස් වලට 2024 නත්තල වෙනකල් මුළු වසර පුරාවටම සෑම මාසයකදීම තෑගි තොගයක් සුප්‍රීම් TV වෙතින්. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි මේ නත්තල් මාසය පුරාවටම සුප්‍රීම් TV තිරේ ඔයාලගේ වීඩියෝ දකින්නත් ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් වැඩසටහනකට ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නත් ඔයාලට අවස්ථාව ලැබෙනවා. ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන්ස් මිහිරිතම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් එකක් වීඩියෝ කරලා අපිට එවන්න 076යි 33යි 11යි 03 අංකයට WhatsApp කරන්න. මේ ප්‍රේමණීය නත්තල් මාසේ ඔබේ වාදනයෙන් හැඩවෙන මිහිරිතම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් එකක් වීඩියෝ කරලා අපිට එවන්න. රටවටා ඉන්න වාදනයට දක්ෂ ඔයාලා එවන ලස්සනම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන්ස් වලට 2024 නත්තල වෙනකල් මුළු වසර පුරාවටම සෑම මාසයකදීම තෑගි තොගයක් සුප්‍රීම් TV වෙතින්. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි මේ නත්තල් මාසය පුරාවටම සුප්‍රීම් TV තිරේ ඔයාලගේ වීඩියෝ දකින්නත් ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් වැඩසටහනකට ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නත් ඔයාලට අවස්ථාව ලැබෙනවා. ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන්ස් මිහිරිතම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් එකක් වීඩියෝ කරලා අපිට එවන්න 076යි 33යි 11යි 03 අංකයට WhatsApp කරන්න. මේ ප්‍රේමණීය නත්තල් මාසේ ඔබේ වාදනයෙන් හැඩවෙන මිහිරිතම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් එකක් වීඩියෝ කරලා අපිට එවන්න. රටවටා ඉන්න වාදනයට දක්ෂ ඔයාලා එවන ලස්සනම ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන්ස් වලට 2024 නත්තල වෙනකල් මුළු වසර පුරාවටම සෑම මාසයකදීම තෑගි තොගයක් සුප්‍රීම් TV වෙතින්. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි මේ නත්තල් මාසය පුරාවටම සුප්‍රීම් TV තිරේ ඔයාලගේ වීඩියෝ දකින්නත් ක්‍රිස්මස් ටියුන් වැඩසටහනකට ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නත් ඔයාලට අවස්ථාව ලැබෙනවා. Christmas tunes. මීහිරිතම Christmas tune එකක් වීඩියෝ කරලා අපිට එවන්න. 076 33 11 03 අංකයට WhatsApp කරන්න.
ඇසිපිය හෙළන මොහොතකදී විශ්වය පුරා සිදුවන ඔබ නොදකින රූපෙල්හරක චමත්කාරය. දිනපතා සවස 5ට විශ්ව සැරිසන්.
And exclusive on Supreme TV and Supreme TV YouTube and Supreme TV Facebook.
And demonstrating that today, well, there was nothing the premium Afghans could do to combat it. They had no answer to it. Kieran Otley played his part at the other end as well. But it belonged to that man today, Jarad Erasmus. Well, you can have a sit down for a minute. You've got to get out in the middle in just a minute as they try and defend 127. Well, you would say that this is very much the Americans' game to lose. 21 they took off that final over. Yusuf Zazai, he'd been economical to that point. And then 21 off the final over, that no ball that was hoisted for 6 by Erasmus. Well, that really put salt in the wounds at the end of that innings. The USA winning the toss and electing to bat and very much vindicating that decision from their captain. Well, what can the Afghan batters do when they come out and try and chase this down? They're going to have to go hard, going to have to go fast. No time to prod and poke around. They're going to have to get straight out there because they've only got 15 overs to chase down 128 and try and get their second win of the tournament. Coming off the back of a few days rain, difficulty with the weather and that excitement of the game before the rain the other day when they beat the Windies by just 1 run. Well, today these two are just going to have to think see ball, hit ball and launch it over that boundary, or they could find themselves behind the run rate very, very quickly.
Well, Jarad Erasmus will be very disappointed that today's encounter was only 15 overs, as getting up to 77 not out, he'd have hoped for another 5 overs to have the opportunity to be the first centurion of this year's tournament. Having said that, he should be absolutely delighted with the way that he played, and now he's going to have ball in hand at some point this afternoon. Multifaceted player, and the premium Americans are also going to be quite happy with the total that they've put on the board, knowing that they do have the man himself in captain Imran Khan, who has wreaked havoc amongst the tournament the past 2 games with 2 consecutive 5-wicket hauls, and he'll be looking to do further damage here today in the shortened encounter.
Looks like they're going to start as well with spin. With pace, I mean. Sorry, can't get my words out today. I'm too excited by that innings from Erasmus. They're starting with pace. They've got a man in at slip as well, so going attacking from the off. And Matullah Khan from the UAE has been handed the ball to open up proceedings with the ball. Didn't bowl in their last game, and today he's got the pleasure of opening things up as the birds flutter in the distance. Well, that's rapid to start with.
Pull down to the man at fine leg, and that opens the account for the premium Afghans, who've made a few changes themselves, and we see William Perkins having his first go for the tournament, replaces Samit Patel, and so he'll be looking to get this team, premium Afghans, off to a flying start here.
Well, that's down the leg side, and it's gonna not race away. It's very, very slow, that outfield, but just straying down the leg side here. And the Afghans will take these. Any extras? Look at that. Needing nearly 8.5 and over from the off. Bowled him. Well, what a recovery. That is an absolute peach of a delivery from the pacer. Just what you want to see as a seam bowler.
And this is what the score of 120 does to teams in this tournament. Puts the batters under immediate pressure to come out and have to score quickly. Not making any contact with this one, batsman Usman Ghani, and goes clean bowled Matthew Khan. And so the premium Americans are up and running in the wickets column, exactly what they would have wanted in the first over, and absolutely not what premium Afghans would have wanted. But Usman Ghani there wasn't too pleased with himself and the pitch, obviously pointing down to the wicket, but he's got to go. And so there's going to be a lot of pressure on the premium Afghans batting unit here today to try and get anywhere near to this target of 128 set for them.
Well, here it is again. I mean, he'll want to watch this on repeat. Oh no, he's just practicing his run. I thought we were being treated to a replay then. Well, it's the kind of thing he'll want to watch the replay of later on. Perhaps him and Gerard Erasmus can have a viewing party.
Thank you.
Well, Sabu Oheran comes to the middle. And he goes for the bouncer, and again straying down the leg side. Well, there it is. Copy and paste that one, and it all could be over very quickly. Short, flicked away, launched away, and that'll be the first boundary of the chase, and it goes for 6. And the captain has said, you know what, I'm going to get this done. His first delivery, and he capitalises.
Striving for extra pace, Matthew Khan, and that's exactly what you'd want as a batter on this surface. Something that allows you to hit through the line of the ball and take the lethargy of the pitch out of the equation. So Imran Khan will be quite happy with that. And again, shot whipped away down to the man at fine leg, who comes around and does a good job of restricting them to 1.
Well, ahead of that run rate needed at the moment, was up at 8.5. And already 11, 2 still to come in this over. Short again. And Imran Khan is getting the yards in as he comes around to do the fielding deep mid-wicket.
Well, I think the premium Afghans batters will not want to have any change in the length that Matula Khan is now operating at, bowling it short into the pitch and making scoring quite easy for the batters here.
Well, that's much better. Slightly fuller, good length, and an expensive first over. 12 coming from it, closes with a dot. So at the end of one, the Afghans 12 for 1. That target 128 still looks a long way off.
Indeed, they're going to need a few more overs of 8+ to keep themselves in the hunt. Premium Americans all but qualified thus far for the playoffs, and so this game becomes even more important for the premium Afghans to try and overhaul the target of 128 set to them here today.
So leg stump. Push it more. Midland leg, 2 legs. Good.
We're going to continue with pace from both ends as well, the Americans. You wonder how long it will take for Imran Khan to bring himself on, but for now, it's Ahsan Beg. And he's bowled him. Well, well, well. Welcome to the party. First delivery, inside edge, onto the stumps. And William Perkins, he's got to go as well.
Well, not the impact William Perkins would have wanted to have in his opening match of this tournament. Asenberg, on the other hand, perfect start, beautiful line and length, attacking the stumps, and as we've seen throughout the tournament, the seam bowlers that attack the stumps generally get rewarded through economy rate and then through wickets. So great start here for the premium Americans. 2 early wickets, and they'll be looking for much of the same as William Perkins goes bowled, chopped on Asenberg.
Well, we saw 2 early wickets in the first innings, both those run outs. So these are the first legitimate wickets we've seen with the ball from a bowler. And then we saw what happened after that, the explosion of runs, mainly off the bat of Mr. Erasmus. But that was quite something special we saw, and we're going to need something even more special from these Afghan batters. Well, it'll be Jamshid Mir Al-Keel who comes to the middle. Expensive today with the ball going at around 10 and over from his allocated 3. Remember, this is a 15 over a side game, shortened due to weather and conditions. So each bowler gets 3. 5 overs constitutes a power play. It's a 15 over a side game. That's a great bit of work from the bowler.
Well, that's the dedication you want to see. Bowlers sticking their feet out, putting their bodies on the line. Can't ask the fielders to do things that you're not doing for yourself, so you're setting an example there. Boys, we have a game to win here. 15 overs of hard work gets us 2 points, and 2 points closer to the playoffs and potentially the finals.
Short, it's well kept down and worked away. It will just be the 1. And the USA don't mind the 1s, so that's the equation there. 115 needed off 81 deliveries. It's quite a mountain to climb.
The separation between runs and balls getting wider and wider here. Premium Afghans gonna have to come up with a plan. Mind you, skipper Imran Khan has started explosively, and he looks the part. He looks as though he's up for the task, and so he's gonna want to stick around for a few overs and have an impact on this game.
Well, he knows it was a very expensive finish to that American innings. It sort of gave them that momentum they already had, and then they just built it and built it. They just put the squeeze on it a little bit, those Afghan bowlers, with that final over going for 21. Short.
Wide ball.
Wide down the leg side, and that is 3 runs. They will take those any way they come. So 5 wides.
Well, the premium Afghans are up with the rate. Scoring has been no issue, and if they can just keep wickets in hand, then we're going to have a nail-biting encounter here this afternoon, as we've seen with the last premium Afghans game, where they won by 1 run against the premium Windies team.
Much better. Slightly in his hitting arc, but straight out to the fielder, and just another one to the total.
Well, things are going from bad to worse here from Assenberg. Leg side, half volley, clipped away for 4 leg buys. And it's a no ball, so that's 5 extras plus a free hit coming up. Premium Afghans couldn't have hoped, apart from those 2 early wickets, for a better start in terms of run scoring. And now this is going to be an opportunity for them to add further to the score.
Yeah, another 12 already from this over, and now a free hit to finish it out. And that free hit has been punished and will beat the slow outfield and go for 4. So 16 coming off this over. Well ahead of that required run rate at the moment.
Well, the premium Afghans look up for a fight today. We want to be a part of this tournament. We want to stay locked in. 28 for 2 from 2, well ahead of where they need to be, which gives them a bit of breathing room if they have a bat over or 2. And so premium Afghans, led by their skipper Imran Khan, out in the middle right now, will be very happy with where they are, and they just need to find a way to maintain the scoring.
So 28 after 2 overs, going along at 14, and it will be Matullah Khan to continue. Picked up the 1 wicket in his first over, but struggling, slightly wayward, banging it in too short, giving them something they could get onto. And again short, and same result.
And that's wides, so more extras. 5 runs here to start the over for Matullah Khan. Someone is going to have a word with him from the premium Americans team. Premium Afghans hoping that he continues to bang the ball in, striving for extra pace, but the direction isn't there, and giving away invaluable runs, and runs that could come back to haunt the premium Americans here.
Yeah, undoing some of the good work done by the team with the bat. 3 runs, no balls, giving 3 hits. Much better. On the pads, full Well, it's just the bowler who went up for it, but that is the kind of length he needs to be finding. He doesn't want to be banging it in short because they're just capitalizing it or it's going down the leg side.
Well, I think Mathieu Lecan forgot that that was a free hit, and even if it were out, it still wouldn't be out. Mind you, judging by the replays here, looks as though it may have been sliding down leg, but he can take away some information from that ball that there's much success when you go full and straight. Having said that, he's gone full on the leg stump here, and that one's been clipped away over the man at deep backward square for 6 runs. And so the premium Afghans are on an absolute tear here this afternoon. Mathieu Lecan being torn to shreds by the premium Afghan batters.
Well, you know who else I want to tear to shreds? Whoever tried to take this catch. Never got his feet there over the boundary. Never got his feet there. Dropped it, shook his hand as if it really hurt. Well, short again. And the keeper will give chase, and that will be just the one. Looks like a frustrated wicketkeeper to me.
Well, the run rate is up at 16s at the moment, and premium Afghans will be absolutely delighted with this, not having done much of the scoring themselves, being gifted a number of extras here, and so off to an absolute flyer, having lost 2 early wickets, but still up to 40 from 2 overs.
Well, that's clubbed back down the ground past the bowler, and that is another 4. They're just hemorrhaging boundaries.
And Mathieu Lecan becoming a bit predictable, bowling most of his deliveries into the wicket. And what we saw is Jamshed set himself there for a length ball and clubbed it straight back past the man at mid-on. Had absolutely no chances of cutting that off. And premium Americans are just leaking runs at all angles here.
Short up in the air, fielder coming round. Can he get there? Not a chance. And he gets the brakes on. And they're still just looking to take him on because they know what's coming. They know it's coming short. And they're swinging at everything.
Well, it's going to be a big ask for the premium Americans from here. Skipper Imran Khan has been in amazing form, but with this sort of start, the premium Afghan batters will be in a position where they can afford to just play him out and keep attacking from the other end.
And that is a good recovery in the end. Well, Matullah Khan, 2 overs he's bowled. He's gone for 29 runs. So at the end of 3, the premium Afghans are 46 for 2. They need 128 to win this game. They've got 15 overs in total, and they've still only had 3 of them, so 12 overs to score 80 runs.
And this is exactly what the premium Afghans would have wanted. Perfect start, keeping them in the game, alleviating a lot of the pressures of scoring. We've already had 15 extras from the score of 46. So 1/3 of the runs have been scored via the route of extras, and they'll be absolutely happy with that. Premium Americans, a lot of work to do to pull this back and bring themselves back into the contest.
And those extras, it's interesting, it's in complete contrast to the first innings when we saw only 8 in extras because Erasmus and Otley were going along so well themselves. The bowlers were disciplined in that respect. It was just the fact they couldn't take on those batters, and he plays it onto his own pads, looking to flick it into the onside. Miran Khan, he feels like he's missed out a bit. Those Afghani coloured gloves coordinated with his kit. 14 from 9 he is. And he looks to launch that one back towards our commentary box and flies through for a very rare dot ball.
Well, this has been a good start to the over. 2 dot balls thus far.
Well, Captain Imran Khan will be having a think of who's going to have to take up the mantle for the next over. That's good line and length there. Will he turn to spin? Will he bring himself on? It seems unlikely that Matullah Khan will be on for another 29 from 2 overs so far for him. And he just seemed to be struggling to find his line or his length. And they were eating it for breakfast, the Afghan batters.
Well, with the start that the premium Afghans have had, they can afford to absorb a few dot balls here and not be too bothered, knowing that they're well ahead of where they need to be at this point.
Just having a look at his bat there. We saw a bat switch from Gerard Erasmus. Well, did nothing wrong for his run scoring today. Slow ball. And it's well bowled. He was through the shot before the ball had even reached him. Well, quietly, a little recovery going on here for the Americans. 4 dots and a bye. It's just stuck in the ground, not bounced up at all. Good work in the end by the keeper. Getting down low. And again, not timed well. And a really good over that. Just the 1 run, the bye coming from it. So at the end of 4 overs, the Afghans, the premium Afghans, 47 for 2. They've got 11 overs left. We've got 1 more of the power play. And so that's the equation there. 81 needed off 66. That is very doable if these two carry on in this way. If the extras keep leaking. We saw what Erasmus and Otley could do batting on this wicket, so it's a very doable run chase. So 1 over of fielding restrictions left.
Well, time for some spin here, some left arm spin, which has been second most attacking option for the tournament, behind leg spin.
So the left arm spin of Gurbaksh is on to try and stem this flow of runs. It was definitely the right decision, I think, to try and change from the pace because the batters were taking it on. Matullah Khan not having a good day out with the ball today. So he's seen 2, and whether we see him again anytime soon, I'm not sure. Flighted delivery, full toss. Picks out the fielder out on the boundary. And they won't mind 1s, the Americans.
Well, Imran Khan must have thought that was Boxing Day sale delivery. Slow full toss on leg stump, couldn't believe his eyes. Absolutely missed out on that one.
No ball signalled by the umpire. Spinner bowling a no ball, sort of unforgivable.
What's going on out there, Premium Americans? This display in the field has been atrocious by them thus far. Ill-disciplined by the bowlers, not really providing much consistency here.
So free hit to come. What can Imran Khan do with this? Well, it's a good delivery actually in the end. Well, that man there must be thinking, surely I did enough. An unbeaten 77 off 46 deliveries. And this is how my bowlers repay me? And that's gone through the legs of the keeper. It's going to have to give chase here. Good recovery.
Wow. That's a huge no ball as well. Well, he's gone bowled. Gurbash strikes. Jamshed looking to get on with things, keep the scoring rate up. He's bowled. But Gurbash here for 16. Much needed breakthrough for the Premium Americans. Premium Afghans won't necessarily mind that, however, as they need to keep the pressure on to give themselves a chance to progress further in this tournament.
That's just the breakthrough they needed. Not only is it a wicket, but it also means it's a dot ball.
Right, batsman here, south please, thanks.
The sun is very much out here at the Musa Stadium. There are flags fluttering, not quite the wind we've seen of the last few days, but this is just what you want when you think about drying out any kind of ground or any area. Sunshine and wind. A good laundry drying day, as my mother would say. That's into the pitch. And again, wide down the leg side.
Well, Gurbash is not off to the kind of start that he'd want or that the team requires of him.
Full toss up in the air. Well, that has gone all the way. I'm just going to take some fetching.
It's a no ball as well. So absolute horror show for Jamshed here. He's not been able to keep his foot behind the line on a few occasions this over, which is not what you'd expect from a spinner. This one being deposited for 6 over having gone for 16 thus far, and with a free hit coming up, Premium Afghans are well and truly in control of this match. 63 for 3 with 1 ball left in the power play.
Well, like I said, unforgivable spinners bowling. Front foot, no balls. Well, it was absolutely dispatched. So free hit. The slip is in. Well, Imran Khan goes big, and it's carbon copy of the ball before. And that is a 6 to close out the over. Well, 22 coming off it. At the end of 5, the power play is over. The Afghans 69 for 3. And the Americans are in all sorts of problems here. They're bowling front foot, no balls, as spinners. They're being launched to all parts. No one seems to be able to find the right line length or delivery stride, whereas Miran Khan is just stand and deliver, capitalizes, and you weren't catching that even if you were standing over the boundary. I think the ball has just about been recovered.
Just a bit more. So leg stump.
This side and the border is coming from there, there is no speed. From here, and the border is coming from there, there is no speed. That's why that one fast bowler.
Well, continuing with spin. Now, what can be done here? Can they make another breakthrough? 22 off that last over. Well, Miran Khan looks to hoik it into the onside, and Otley comes round. So it'll just be the one, and they won't mind ones. The Americans, and that brings Wakarula back on strike. He's the new batter, just faced one delivery so far, whereas Miran Khan is seeing it like a beach ball. Well, not where Wakarula was aiming, but he'll take the one, and they'll rotate the strike again. And they think about running the misfield from the bowler off his own bowling, means they can easily get through for another.
Yeah, and just 4 singles in this over, but really all the Afghans need. Less than 6 that required right now. As that's going to beat the fielder inside the ring, and yet another single they'll pick up.
Yeah, his hand came off the bat there. He still managed to get enough on it. Well, the target 128. It's only 54 away, and they've still got just under 10 overs.
Once again, that one out towards deep mid-wicket, and another single to finish the over off. 6 singles from that one. And after 6, 75 for 3 here are the Afghans.
Well, you do wonder when Imran Khan is going to bring himself on, because he has been their star bowler of the tournament, one of the bowlers of the tournament so far. The captain, and it looks like he's just taken his... Is he taking his hat off?
Yeah, Imran Khan, the 3rd highest wicket taker in the tournament, 10 wickets he's got, and an economy of just 4.47.
Well, he's going to need to use all of that today. He needs to hurry up and take another fifer. That's what he needs if he wants to get his team back into this. Just 3 wickets down, the Afghans, 75 on the board after 6 overs. Remember, shortened game this, just 15 overs aside after those weather conditions. Each bowler gets 3 overs, the power play done after 5. And should there be no wickets to fall in the 7th, drinks will be taken after 8 overs. Well, he goes big again. New bowler, I don't mind. I'm Miran Khan, and I'm dealing in 6s.
What a way to greet Imran Khan into the attack. Arguably the best bowler there for the Americans. And to greet him with a maximum is quite a statement there from Mehran Khan. Really showing that it doesn't matter who the bowler is, I will take him on. Backing his ability there, Mehran Khan, and putting the American star under pressure from the first delivery. Goes aerial once again, and he clears it once again. Back-to-back sixes here for Mehran Khan, and into the 40s now he is with that.
Well, everything he touches turns to gold right now with that bat, Mehran Khan. These are just sitting up for him to hit. Copy and paste, easy as you like.
I think Imran Khan would want to go a bit more fuller. Bowling a couple of short deliveries, dispatched over mid-wicket.
Just tucked him up slightly with that one. And they won't be too unhappy to see Imran Khan off strike. But it's another extra, it's wides.
There's 39 more needed now for the Afghans. And just over 8 overs to go. As that one's just nudged away for a single. And so wickets will really be key here if the Americans are to look to come back into this game. Because the Afghans, the way they're going right now, just nudging the ball around, singles and twos, that'll get them home.
Picks out the man, Erasmus. Good fielder, Erasmus. Also had a great day with the bat. At the moment, his batting alongside Otley is pretty much all the Americans have to write home about. That's positive. And that's going to be another wide, so another one to the total. Mehran Khan, 43. Well, it's gone up in the air. Fielder coming round. Can he take the catch? And he shells it. Well, Matullah Khan is not having a good day out there with the ball, and then he had the chance to make up for it in the field, and he has put down the danger man, Mehran Khan, on 43. It was wide, and it just found the top edge, and it's gone very high. He looked to launch it over that long on boundary. He's just put it down, ended up on his knees. Now the equation, 36 needed off 49.
Yeah, absolutely. Should have been taking that catch there. Be disappointed. Because they just need an opening here to the Americans into this Afghan lineup. As this one's also going to be hit down the ground. But just the single they'll take from it. A couple of runs rather, to finish the over off. And so with that, the end of a big over, 19 runs from it. And after 7, 94 for 3 are the Afghans.
Well, what do you do as the Americans here? Your best bowler, by far and away your best bowler in the tournament, has just gone for 19 from 1 over. And the captain himself, he now has to think, to whom can I turn? Because we've got to stop this somehow. We need rid of Mehran Khan. 44 from 24 for the Afghan captain. They thought they had a hefty target to chase down at 128 after some explosive batting from that man on your screen alongside Erasmus. But this has just been a blistering start from the Afghans. And at the same time, the Americans, errors and problems in all directions. And the misfield, but they don't capitalise.
And you talk about the errors that we've seen from the Americans, as that one's gone straight up in the air. Who wants it? Keeper's underneath it, bowler himself, and the catch is taken. So finally a wicket here for the Americans, a breakthrough in the end. And it's the danger man who will have to walk back. Mehran Khan departs. Or rather, Mehran Khan still in.
Yeah, it's Wakarilla on his way. He tried to give it a whack, and the bowler went, you know what, I trust just myself to take this catch. He found the top edge down on one knee, and there were lots of people calling under it. Bowler says, mine, easy as you like. And that's how you finish it off. Well, 94 for 4. 34 needed of the next 46 deliveries. And with that wicket brings about the drinks break. So we'll take a quick pause and we'll be back with you in just a minute. It's going to be exciting. Well, drinks taken, and happy to say it is a nice sunny day out there, so drinks very much needed slightly early with that wicket of Wakarilla, but the main man is still out there, the captain. And almost a chance of a run out. Well, the Americans themselves were on the receiving end of 2 run outs. Well, it's that man there on your screen, the captain. Captain Khan is currently doing the business for his team. 94 for 4. And this is much better from Abhinder Singh. You would love to have been a fly on the wall in that Americans chat at the drinks break. No ball signalled by the umpire. More free runs.
That is the 31st extra of this innings. And we're just in the 8th over. And have a look at that one again.
And signals the free hit. And he takes advantage. The fielder does well to come round. It plugs in that outfield. Well, just the 4 and the wicket coming off this Abbey's second over. But all that's required is 4.19. So it closes out the 8th over the wicket coming from it. 98 for 4 after 8, so 7 overs remaining in this Afghan chase. And they are well ahead. Our fellow commentator Kieran Powell, big Manchester United fan, at least he can say that he's watched one team in red perform well today. And I think we'll leave it at that before he never talks to me again. So 8 overs gone, the Afghans 98 for 4. And Imran Khan going to continue 19 off his first over.
He's going out, let him stay there.
Yeah, and I like this move here, continuing with Imran Khan. Despite him being expensive, going for 19 in his first over, he is your strike bowler. He does have a lot of experience behind him. And if you need a couple of wickets here, trying to bring the Americans back into this game, then Imran Khan will be a good option to do that.
Not quite got a hold of this. It'll just be one. They won't mind. That's all they need. Just do it in ones if they have to.
And that gets Imran Khan back on strike, who had the better of Imran Khan in the last over with a couple of maximums.
Little bit.
99 up on the board. They'll scamper through. Well, that brings up the 100 for the Afghans. A lot of the heavy lifting been done by the extras board, but also that man, Imran Khan, 45 of 29 for the captain. And this is much better, much tighter from Imran Khan.
Yeah, coming back well after that last over here is Imran Khan. As that's just going to be chipped up in the air. And for the single. But the Afghans, they won't mind slow overs like this too much. Especially when it's against a quality bowler such as Imran Khan. This one though, straying down the leg side, yet another wide. I think that's the 22nd wide now we've seen in this innings.
Well, he got away with one, the ball previously, as the batter stepped back, gave himself room, and he sort of followed him, but should that have gone, it would have been well down the leg side. And then another wide to back it up. The umpire just having a look at the condition of the ball, gets out his little nail clippers, gives a little trim, and that's not going to stop you bowling wides though, Imran Khan. You've got to find your line again. That's clubbed through the covers, and they're going to come back for the 2 easily.
And the end of the over as well with that 7 from it. So much better than his last over there, Imran Khan, and after 9, 105 for 4 are the Afghans. Have a look at that batting card. The openers not able to get set, but Imran Khan, the one name which pops out, 45 off 29, still out there. And at the bottom you can see extras 34. Which has really helped the Afghans. 23 needed now in 6 overs.
Seems a long time ago we were watching Gerard Erasmus launch it to all parts, doesn't it?
Indeed, and we have a look at that innings. Erasmus and Otley, really a good partnership that was. Erasmus really hitting the big shots, Otley there providing support. Now Erasmus's role has kind of been replicated by Imran Khan, who's gone after the bowling, and Otley's runs have just come from extras here for the Afghans, because batters have come and gone here for this Afghan side. No one's really stuck out there with Khan, but the extras have just kept the scoreboard ticking.
It's a good start from Hamir Hamza Hotak. So 23 needed and just under 6 overs still remaining in which to do it. It's into the pitch and it's found the edge. So Imran Khan, 45 off 31 for the captain. Have to be quick here, but easily home. What they can do it in ones, easy as you like. And Khan moves on to 46. Well, we've seen what Abdul Wazi Nouri can do as well with the bat. He himself scored a well-made 45 in one of their early games. And that's well bowled.
Yeah, just missing the bat there of Abdul Wasi. And a good over this is turning out to be from Amir. As that one's just driven back just past the bowler. And they'll take another single. Not really too much pressure here on these Afghan batters. 21 needed, 31 balls to go.
It's well fielded off his own bowling. Amir Hamza showing how it's done. So he closes out the over. Just 2 coming from that one. 10 overs gone. 5 still to come. Afghans 107 for 4. The equation that really matters, though, is that they need 21 from 30 deliveries. A wicket, yes, from Atullah Khan, but an expensive over from him. Also expensive, Gurbaksh Singh. And the captain, Imran Khan, who's going to bowl himself out. He's got his allocated 3 in this shortened game. He's going to bowl them on the trot. The first going for 19 and 6 off his second.
Yet to pick up a wicket here is Imran Khan, as that one's dug out towards the man in the deep. go for that big shot there. Wraps him on his pads. An appeal now. You could see a half appeal from Imran Khan that late. None of his other teammates interested. Oh, and he goes big this time. Aerial. And he's going to clear the boundary as well by a long way. Not only has that cleared the boundary, it's cleared the fence as well after that. As both arms will be aloft for umpire Brian Kane. And with that, the 50 as well coming up from Imran Khan. Brings it up in style, as did Erasmus earlier. This time it's Khan, a long way back.
You know what I love as well there? You see that cameraman there, so focused on his game. The ball is coming towards him at such pace, didn't even flinch. It's good recovery, played off the back foot. So Imran Khan, captain's knock here. So now look at that equation. Just 14 from 27. 13 from 26.
There's 3 and over now, that required rate. In need of wickets here. Steps down the track, goes aerial once again. And he's going to clear it as well. This time off the bat of Abdul Wasi, who looks to join the party. He's seen Imran Khan at the other end and looks to hit one over himself.
Well, there's a man out there beyond the fence, and the ball has gone to him more than it's gone to anyone. Just see him out the back in the black hoodie, and it's as if they're aiming for him because that ball just keeps clearing that boundary. Well, now they need just 7 from 25. Abdul Wasi, he moves on to 14 off 11. And it's a 52 from Imran Khan, the captain. Well, 11 overs gone. 122 for 4. 6 needed from the next 4 overs. 15 coming off that from Imran Khan. He finishes up his 3 overs. Well, it's not a day to write home about. 39 he's gone for and not picked up a single wicket today. Talk about chalk and cheese. Mr. Pfeiffer, well now, Mr. Economy of 13. It'll be Amir Hamza Hotak to continue. Unsurprisingly, he's been perhaps the pick of the bowlers here with his economy and actually getting the squeeze on, but, well, they need only 6 runs.
No runs, no runs.
And that'll be at least one of them. And that brings Imran Khan on to strike. 52 from 36 for the captain.
Now, I think we know how Imran Khan would be looking to finish this game off.
Yourself.
This one just hits it towards the fielder for that dot ball, but if he has the ball in his arc, he will want to do it in style here.
Into the pitch. And this is, again, Hamza showing the others how it's done. Another one ticked off. 4 needed.
Hamza, having just gone for those 4 runs, really seems like he's bowling to a completely different team. You see everyone around him going for runs.
No.
as that's going to finish his second over off. Just 3 from it, none for 5. His figures. And 125. The Afghans just need 3 more here.
Well, can he finish this in style, Mehran Khan? He's done a lot of the rest of his innings in style. Brought up his 50 with that monumental 6. And now has the opportunity to get this done with ample time remaining. Well, as you can see, Mehran Khan leading the way, 53 off just 40. Abdul Wazi Nouri, he's playing his part too, 17 for him. Early wickets, yes, they fell. But that doesn't matter, and it's been problem areas, that extras column. Blindingly obvious as one of the problem areas. 35 extras from the Americans. Well, it brings the deficit down to 2.
Yeah, we take out those extras there, 35 extras. It just leaves you with 90 runs, which in 15 overs, just a run a ball you're looking at. Afghans have done well, so those extras, as you said, really making the difference here in this encounter.
Yeah, it's good running. Drop and run, well, scores are level. This has been quite some chase by the Afghans. They've been helped hugely by some poor cricket from the American side. And that'll be the game. Easy as you like. They never looked in trouble, the Afghans. When they were set a target of 128, it looked like it was going to be an uphill battle. We thought perhaps they were going to struggle. We've not seen them have to chase something down like this, especially inside 15 overs. But Mehran Khan, he led the way. His 54 from 41. Captain's knock for his team, and the premium Afghans, they win it by 6 wickets. Well, the Americans, they've got to go back to the drawing board. They need to wipe it completely clear, and there's a lot of thinking to do for the team that were sat in second at the beginning of this game. Well, that's the Afghans' second win of the tournament after beating the Windies in a nail-biter. This was complete contrast. They dominated with the bat in that chase. Never even broke sweat. Easy as you like. The Americans high fives, but there's a lot of thinking to do. Garrett Erasmus, that man there, well, it was good from him. Unbeaten 77 for him, but a real problem day for the Americans. Other than that, him and Otley together, that man, well, he's been great with the ball so far with the tournament today. Not so much. Lots of thinking to do. It's a happy-looking side, a happy captain. Strides off, helmet still on, fist pumps all around. His side have just won by 6 wickets, and it's been dominant. Perhaps they're hitting their stride just at the right time as we head towards the business end of this tournament, the premium Afghans. But for the Americans, it's problem areas, and lots of them.
Yeah, Afghans getting their second consecutive win now. Going into that business end of the tournament, they'd really like that as they move up to 5th now onto the points table. The Americans still at their spot in second. A dent to their net run rate as the Afghans win with 15 deliveries to spare.
Well, that man, Mehran Khan, he was pretty tidy with the ball when needed, the captain, and he did the job with the bat. 54 on 41, some stylish sixes, some very big sixes. It's a great knock from him, and Abdul Wazi Nouri keeping him company at the end, but playing his part too, showing that he knows how to hit a big boundary too. And they're in form with the bat now, the Afghans, as they continue into the rest of the tournament. They're winning today by 6 wickets. Well, this is the kind of scorecard you don't want to look at if you're a bowling coach or a bowler. Expensive. Imran Khan, 39 from his 3. Matullah Khan, he picked up a wicket, yes, early, but 29 off just 2 overs. And it was only really Hamza Hotak who showed that he turned up and knew how to bowl today, just conceding the 5 runs from his 2 overs. That 35 extras, that's a problem. Well, I believe Roshni has the man of the match.
Welcome to the post-match presentation. It was the Premium Afghans versus the Premium Americans, and the Premium Afghans have won it by 6 wickets. Join with me as the man of the match, Mehran Khan, also the skipper. Mehran, bowling maybe you took only, you conceded 13 runs, then especially the batting innings, you still have your pad 54 off of just 41 balls, not out, 7 sixes. How do you feel about your innings?
Alhamdulillah, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. That was much needed win for us to get in the tournament, and Alhamdulillah we win this match. Actually the wicket is a little bit tricky. The score was a little bit more because the wind is from one side and I used it the shorter one, so I get successful, because the longer one I didn't hit it. So Alhamdulillah.
In the first innings, you speak about, the total was a bit much, and the bowlers, weren't able to get the wicket, especially weren't able to break that partnership that kept going. What were the thoughts on the new wicket you guys were playing on?
Yeah, when they win the toss, at that time I know that the wicket is fresh and there will be something. We bowled initially very well, but after that the partnership we didn't break it. But we did not give him big hits, and we just give him single, so they give a total of 128. So we chase it easily.
Absolutely. The way you guys were able to chase it, with overs to spare. Walk me through it. What were you discussing with the partners you had? Because you guys did lose 2 early wickets.
Until I was there on a wicket, so I gave my partner, just give me a single only. If I'm get out, then only you get a hit. So so that was the plan only.
Well, congratulations on the win and your performance, and all the best for the next one.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, player of the match, impressive knock from the captain today. He was tidy with the ball, and the Premium Afghans winning it by 6 wickets, taking down just 128 and taking hardly any time to do it. Plenty of overs in hand. Well, the Americans have got some thinking to do before their next game. Well, they won't be in action tomorrow, the Americans, but they still sit in second at the moment. The Premium Indians yet to lose a match. They've won 3 and had 2 rained out. We've had some dodgy weather around, and the Premium Aussies, they're sitting at the bottom. They're still to clock a win. The Canadians, well, they're above the Aussies, and they haven't even had to walk onto the field yet. So let's see what happens with tomorrow's games and see where the teams sit at the end of tomorrow. And this is what we have lined up. The Premium Canadians in action, hopefully for the first time in match 16. They will be taking on the Premium Afghans, riding high after this afternoon's game. And then in the afternoon, the Premium Packs take on the defending champions, Premium Windies, live from the Musa Cricket Stadium. It's me, Georgie Heath, signing off for the today. We will see you tomorrow for more cricket action.